Hello. In this video I'm going to go through how to add a function to a spreadsheet in Excel 2019, although it should work in most versions. A function allows more complex mathematics or formulas to take place rather than just times, divide or minus plus. It also has other functionality which I'll go through in a different video. Some of the basic functions are sum, average, min and max, and they will calculate a total, average or see the minimum maximum of a section of data. So when I'm in this total column here, a lot of students that I teach will type equals, click on the first cell, press plus, click on the second, plus the third, and press enter. They'll drag it down and say it's done. And that is correct. And for 3 cells, possibly that might be the correct solution. However, imagine if you had a much larger block of data or many more tests to do. This would then be a longer process and there'd be a much simpler way to use a function. So the function to add up a total is called sum. So I'm going to show you one way, and I'm going to show you the other way that some students prefer. I personally prefer to type it, but that's just how I am. So you start with an equals and the name of the function followed by a bracket. Now, as soon as you type that, underneath you'll see that it gives you the layout. So with a sum function, I can have a selection of data, put a comma, do another section of data, do another comma, as you can see the dot there. And basically I can add up loads of sections as long as I put a comma in between them. So I just want to add up these 3. So I'll highlight these 3 in one go. A lot of students click and click and click or drag this corner and they're all clicking around. All you do is type equals sum bracket and you select in one swift motion the area you want and press enter. Now, should I for some reason, I'll do it down here, want to add up, say the top and the bottom person, I can do that, do a comma and do that, press enter, and it will actually give me the total of all those 6 cells there. Which if you go back to the formula up here, by the way, and click, you'll see in Excel 2019 that the blue section highlights blue and the red section highlights red. It's quite handy that you can even actually move the sections and or use the corner of the cell there, or any of the edges, corners, and alter the size of the data. So that's quite a handy thing to know. But obviously with sum, nearly always you type equals sum, bracket, highlight the row you're on, press enter and then fill it down. So that's the sum function done one way. The other way that some people prefer is to use a sort of what wizard. There's the it's up here with this Greek, I think it's a sigma symbol. So you click there and it's got sum, average, count, max and min built into this menu. But you can actually do most of the functions here, even the more complicated ones if you want to here. And there is a little wizard for that, but we'll go through the more complicated ones later. So let's just do sum. It automatically highlights the cells on your row. If they're wrong, of course, say it highlights these by accident, you can just select the correct ones and press enter. So some people prefer to use that way. It's up to preference, really. I'm going to use that way for average to show it again. So I'm going to write average here, and I want the average of this cell here. So you click on auto sum, average. It nearly always detects the correct cells, but if not, select them. Press enter, and of course I can drag it across. Can of course do the formatting because I'm fussy like that, and I can do the same with min and max, but this time I'm going to type them. I know that you might think that the minimum was minimum, which would be a good name for a function, but as you can see, as I type min, you can see that the list comes up of the appropriate functions that Excel has. Excel has a lot of functions and you will only use a small minority of them, so don't be overwhelmed by them. Equals min, highlight, and the same process happens. So if I center those and border them, I probably should have done this while I was here because I know I'm going to do it in a minute. And then I'll use the auto sum for maximum, why not? Actually, that's good because now you see it's incorrectly highlighted the average and min, so I can say, oh, I don't want that, and highlight just the ones I want. And as you can see again, when I click there, it shows me in blue because that's blue, the color of the cell selected. That's how to use a function in Excel. If you want any more complicated functions, I'll go through them in my other videos.